What's going on, YouTube? JT is Born here, and welcome back to another edition to After the Movie. Currently in my theater parking lot, I just got done watching From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. That's right, this is the first spin-off film in the John Wick franchise. We also had From the World of John Wick, The Continental, which was like a three-part special, like kind of mini-series that went on Peacock. And this film is set between the events of John Wick Chapter 3 and John Wick Chapter 4 for the most part. I mean, there's part of it that kind of overlaps with what's going on in 3 and some elements that take place in the past. But yeah, I was looking forward to this thing. I'm a big John Wick fan. I've been there for every movie opening night. It is opening night, and I'm like, I got to make my way to the theaters to watch the latest film in the John Wick franchise. This is kind of a big testing ground because, like, I mean, this is the first full spin-off film. I know they're supposed to be doing a Donnie Yen film. This one stars Ana de Armas as Eve, who is a ballerina, and she was kind of with the, how do I describe it? Like Angelica Houston's group from like John Wick Chapter 3, that whole Ruska Roma. I can't remember all the names half the time. Boy, some car is going off like crazy right now. Okay, looks like we got it. Where was I? Yeah, so she stars as a ballerina. She was kind of somebody who's out for revenge because her father and family that was kind of taken from her at a young age. And we see her as a child. Then we see her kind of go through the ranks and train with that, ballerina group that we saw in John Wick Chapter 3. Like when he goes in there and he gives the cross and all that too, after he was excommunicado. And then he was sent to Casablanca or whatever it was with Halle Berry and all that. So... Angelica Houston's group, so that's his past, where his family and all that, where it's kind of connected and such. But yeah, so Ana de Armas plays Eve, and I thought she was great. So like, Ana de Armas is a good actress. She was one of the best parts of No Time to Die, the James Bond film with Daniel Craig. When she came into the mix, she brought like a fun element to the mix. And yeah, so like I said, this film was set between that. It's her wanting revenge. We get some more expansions on the world and lore and all that other stuff. And yeah, like I said, story, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple for the most parts. But the thing I'm most interested for, and the thing that audiences are wanting to see, is the action sequences. Now, this is the first film not fully directed by Chad Stahelski, who directed every single John Wick film. He co-directed the first film with David Leitch, and now he's kind of brought in like as producer. So it's kind of like, okay, we're testing the waters for other people. Now, I had heard stories of this thing getting, this thing was delayed, I think, a few times, going under reshoots and all that too, with Chad Stahelski at the helm, because like he wants the quality of the franchise to stay intact. And I'm here to say, like, straight out the gate, I really did enjoy this one. I had a pretty awesome time with it. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of creative action sequences. And this movie, it gives you what you want to pay, what you're paying to see. You want to see John Wick level like action and go through all sorts of creative ways. People die in all sorts of violent ways. That's what you're going to get with this movie. But one thing I do like is with Eve, she's not John Wick. Like, they don't want to just make her a female John Wick or anything like that. She's her own character. She has her own struggles. Now, that's one thing I kind of like with this thing. Like, she can't like even that's one thing they say, like, you're never going to be this person. You have to fight like to your strengths. Don't try to outmuscle somebody. Don't try to do this. Fight dirty, cheat, like do things like use your size to your advantage. Because like I said, there's opponents that are going to be stronger than you. There's more experience with all this stuff. So use whatever tactic you can to win. And I like that element for it. And she does get the shit beaten out of her quite a bit during this movie. Sometimes to the point where it gets a little ridiculous. I'm like, okay, come on now. Like, I mean, she's got to be unconscious. I mean, some people are getting through all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a John Wick film. Like, hyper-realism is kind of thrown out the window. But this does deliver on some pretty awesome action sequences. And the standouts for me, like, there's some elements involving grenades where, the whole audience is kind of getting a chuckle out of it too. And then there's another element where a flamethrower is brought into the mix. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, Ian McShane is back as Winston. Always great to see Winston in this thing. In terms of the lore they expand, they have kind of somebody who's like outside the table, almost like a cult that kind of has their own like rules and such that they kind of follow. So we're kind of getting more of the lore and such. We get to see like other elements too. John Wick does appear in the film. He's kind of at the very beginning, and then he kind of comes back more towards the third act. And he also, of course, has so much aura to him, and he's going to be okay in this thing because this is leading to, again, like we know the events of John Wick Chapter 4, but it is always great to see Keanu back as this character, and you're kind of like showcasing him like from another character's perspective, because we're always following John Wick, mind you, in these films. and we're always kind of rooting for him. But now we have somebody else that we've been following along their journey, and now John Wick is kind of brought in as sort of an antagonist to them in a sort of way. Like, I mean, I don't want to give everything away, but, you know, like, there is a fight between, you know, Ballerina and John Wick, and, I mean, he's the Baba Yaga for a reason. Like, he is, like, on a level that nobody else really is, and like she's not better than John Wick in that regards. Like I said, she's trained, she's really skilled in all this stuff, but the Baba Yaga is the Baba Yaga. Like, there's a reason they call him that. So do with that what you will, like, without any spoilers or anything like that too. Another thing I noticed too is that Daniel Bernhardt is in this movie too. He was also in the first John Wick. He gets killed by John Wick, and then he fights Ana de Armas as Eve in this thing. And I'm just like, I guess they're brothers or something. They don't exactly explain his name. I guess he's kind of connected with this new kind of cult that's kind of under the table. Like, he's got this little X mark and all that there too. Norman Reedus is in this thing as well. Also Lance Reddick in the last time he plays Chiron, because again, this is set before Chapter 4, and of course that character met their demise in that film. Always great to see Lance Reddick. It really sucks that he's gone, but it was nice to see him at least one last time before, you know, like, well, I guess, you know, he's already passed away at this point, but it was nice to see him again, because like I said, I really like Lance Reddick. I think he's a really talented actor. And yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of this franchise, you kind of know what you're getting with this thing. You want to go see the action, and this thing has plenty of action, like from the very beginning all the way through to the very end. There's ties into, like I said, it ties into the universe or whatnot. They utilize Swan Lake a lot in this thing, which, you know, I always really like Swan Lake, so that was kind of cool. But again, like I said, Anna, like, I'm all for like more ballerina films, like having John Wick in there as kind of a little bit of the extra seasoning. Now he's in all the advertising. But again, it's not John Wick's film. He does show up. He does kick some ass. He does kill a lot of people at times. But again, this is the story of Eve. This is the story of the ballerina. And it's nice to see her actually, like, go through the training in the background and how she kind of came to be. Like, that's the thing with John Wick. He's kind of more like, he's already established within his world. Like I said, there's a bit of mystery and everyone kind of hypes him up. But we, like, kind of already see him, like, at his peak. But with her, like, we actually see her struggle. We see her train. We see her, like, learn different things and what kind of leads her to certain ways in her life. And of course, they leave the door open for a sequel by the end of this thing. And like I said, I'm all for more of these, like, John Wick world universe, like, spin-off films, as long as the creative team is involved and the level of quality is still up there. So like I said, this one's not directed by Chad Stahelski. I think Len Wiseman directed it, but I did hear rumors that Chad Stahelski did come in and do some filming himself. But again, it feels right in line with the Wick films, and there's a lot of pretty awesome, like, violent deaths and all that stuff. There's a couple moments the audience was just laughing and chuckling too. There's some bits too that feel like you've seen in other, like, John Wick films. Like, one of my favorite scenes is when Wick goes to the tasting. He's like, "I'd like a tasting, please." He's like, "Dessert. Good afternoon, Mr. Wick." And they kind of play on that a little bit in this film, but they do kind of add a little bit of a twist with it, which was pretty funny. But again, like, there's some pretty awesome stuff in this thing. Like, I came away pretty happy with this thing. I don't think it's as good as, like, where John Wick Chapter 4 was. But like I said, for a new character within the world of John Wick, I thought Ana de Armas was really good in this thing. Like, she makes a really solid lead, and I don't mind going on more adventures with her. Like, give me more of this stuff. So next up, I guess, is this Donnie Yen thing. I guess they are working on John Wick Chapter 5 and, like, an anime prequel. So inject it into my veins, like, just like that. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun time. Story's pretty straightforward. There's, you know, I guess some twists and turns. Like, some characters kind of show up and they kind of get forgotten about. Like, Norman Reedus is in there for a bit, but, like, he has, like, connections to her past, but he's kind of not in the movie as much as you would think. He kind of, like, shows up and then he kind of disappears for a bit. I wonder if maybe there were some changes going on there, but I guess it doesn't really matter. If you're coming for the action, you want to, that's why people go to see these John Wick films. You're gonna get it with this one. And then, like I said, some new kind of creative elements with it too. Like, the grenade usage was a new element to it that I thought was pretty awesome. And then when she gets the flamethrower, which, if you've seen in the trailers, like, she's like me when I get a flamethrower in a video game. I spam the shit out of that thing, like, as much as possible. I don't know how much fuel these things can have, but I'm pretty sure it's not that much as we see in the film. But hey, it is pretty awesome to see people just, like, getting set on fire. If there's one takeaway from this movie, it's that flamethrowers are fucking awesome. So, yep, there's my quick thoughts on From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. I had a really good time with this thing. I love the John Wick films. I even enjoyed the Continental. I know that one gets kind of a mixed response from most people, but this one I think is definitely a little bit better than that. So, like, if you're going by, like, rankings of it, I don't know, it's tough for me to say. John Wick 2 is probably my favorite. Like, I mean, I love all the films. 4 was a really awesome movie. 3, the first, like, 25 minutes of that film is, like, absolutely, like, phenomenal. Then it kind of gets a little bit slower later on, then it picks up, like, as the movie goes into the third act. But 2 is so good, like, with the action bits and all that. 1 is just the first film, and it's really special, too, and I love the villains and all that. I don't know, they're all pretty great stuff. Like, it's top-tier cinema in my eyes. So, yep, the newest film, a lot of fun, pretty awesome. Anna de Armas great. They do a good job establishing that she's not John Wick. She's her own persona, and she has her own struggles, and I kind of like that. They showcase a vulnerable side and her struggles, but you do see her really improve as the thing goes on. And like I said, the mix of humor and action within these films is always top tier. So not quite as good as some of the other Wick films, but still pretty solid stuff nevertheless. But anyways, if you've seen Ballerina, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.